everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Splendor of the Splendor Glam, and in today's video I'll be showing us how to make a basic body pattern that can be used to make any blouse at home. Let's jump right into the video. First thing I did was to fold my paper into two, and then this is me marking out my 1-inch zipper allowance, and then I used my pattern master to trace out the points that I've marked, and then I just traced it down to give me a straight vertical line. So after getting my straight vertical line, I'll just indicate zipper allowance at that center point there, and then I'll fold it to the back. After folding it, this will give me my center line. So I'll fold it so that I won't get you guys confused. And then this is it. We're going to be using this place to make our front pattern. So the next thing I'll do is to mark out my shoulder line, and then I'll use my tape to impute my vertical measurement. The first one is to mark out my bust line, which is 9.5, and then my waistline, which is 17 inches, and then my hip line, which is 24 inches. I'll just extend these measurements to the front and mark the same thing: 9.5 inches, 17 inches, and then 24 inches. And then I'll roll it out into straight horizontal lines. So I'll just indicate here the shoulder line, and then I'll indicate the bust line, the waistline, and then the hip line. Having done that, the next thing that I'm going to be doing is to take my neck measurement. The standard one is 3 inches depth and 3 inches width. So this is what I just marked, and then I'm going to be connecting the 2 points together using my pattern master. So after connecting the 2 points together, the next thing I'm going to do is to take my shoulder measurements. For my shoulder, it is 15 inches divided by 2 will give us 7.5 inches. And then from that point that I marked 7.5, I'll be going down by 1 inch to get the shoulder slope, because our shoulders are not entirely straight. So I'll just connect it with a straight line to the neck, like so. So the next thing I'll be doing is to measure my armhole. For me, it is 8 inches. So I'll just mark 8 inches like so, and then I'll be connecting it to the shoulder slope and use another horizontal line to connect that point to get my chest line. Having done this, the next thing I'll be doing is to get my midpoints between the shoulder line and the chest line, and I'll mark it. At the midpoint there, I'll be going in by a 3/4 of an inch. This is to indicate where I'll be marking my armhole, because the armhole at our front patterns are usually deeper than the back. Now I'll be transferring in my horizontal measurement. For my bust measurement is 38 inches. 38 inches divided by 4 will give me 9.5 inches. So I'll just impute 9.5 inches on the chest line and do the same on the bust line. So the next one I'll be doing is my waist measurement. For me, my waist is 33 inches. 33 inches divided by 4 will give me 8 1/4 of an inch. and then I'll be adding 1 inch, that's allowance, and then it will give me 9 1/4. So I will just impute 9 1/4 there. And for my hip measurements, my hip is 44 inches. 44 inches divided by 4 will give me 11 inch. So I'll just impute 11 inch on my hip line. So the next thing I'll be doing, I'll just use my pattern master to connect the points together. So I'll just place it like so. Make sure you place your pattern master in the right direction. So I'll just place it like this, and then I'll trace it and also connect from the waistline to the hip line, as you can see. So having done this, now I've gotten my chest, my horizontal measurement on the chest line. So I'll just connect from my shoulder slope to the 3/4 of an inch I marked in, and then I'll connect it to the point on the chest line as seen. Now our front armhole are usually deeper because of our bust, and the back one you just connect from the initial straight line you marked out, and then connect it to the chest line like you can see. So this is how the next thing is to take our back neckline measurement. I'll be going down by 1 inch, and then I'll just connect it to the neckline of 3 inch width like we have before. So now I'll be taking the dart. I'll be using my nipple to nipple measurement. For me it is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I'll just mark 4 on my bust line, on my waistline, and on my hip line. So I'll just connect it with a straight line using my pattern master. So after connecting it with a straight line, the next thing I'll be doing is to measure 1 inch down the bust line and 2 inches up the hip line. So having done that, I'll take 1/2 inches from the waistline and then connect the 4 points together as seen. So I'll just connect it like this. Oh, it's raining outside. So I'll just connect it like this. So this gives me my darts. Then I'll also be taking the side darts. For the side dart, I'll take the middle point between the chest line and the waist line as seen. So I'll just mark it. So after marking it like this, I'll use my ruler to connect it to the bust point as seen. So having connected it, I'll be taking 1/2 inch on both sides of the line that I have marked. So after doing that, I'll be going down from the bust point by 1 inch, and then I'll connect the 3 points together. So this gives us our side darts. But now, because our side darts would reduce the length of our blouse by 1 inch, we'll have to replace the 1 inch at the hem point of the blouse as seen. So I'll just connect it smoothly like so, and then I'll connect it to my center line. After connecting it to my center line, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to add my seam allowance. For the side, I'll be adding 1 inch, while on the shoulder I'll be adding 1/2 inch, and then the hem I'll be adding 1/2 inch as seen. So I'll be using a different marker to just trace it for you guys to see it clearly as seen. So after tracing it, the next thing I'll be doing is to cut out the pattern, I'll be using the back pattern measurement. After doing so, then I'll trace out my front pattern measurement, as you can see in the video. So I'll just cut it like this until I am done cutting. So guys, please, if you haven't liked this video, do well to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we post new videos. Videos will be posted here every week. So I'll just be bringing out my zipper allowance, and then I'll cut out my front pattern at that zipper allowance. That's now the center line. So this is our front pattern. I'll be tracing out the front neckline, and then I'll also be tracing out the armhole line. As you can see guys, this is the front pattern of our basic bodies. Now I'll set that aside and then trace out the zipper line on the back pattern, as you can see, so that I'll be able to cut out this extra portion that I cut out from the front pattern. So after doing this, I'll still indicate zipper allowance on it. So after doing that, I'll trace out that extra from the back pattern, as you can see. So the next thing I'll be doing is to place back my front pattern on the back, so that I'll mark out the prominent lines from the front pattern: the chest line, bust line, waistline, and the hip line. I'll just trace it out so that I'll be able to draw it back on the back pattern, as you can see. So I'll just trace out the waist, I'll trace out the bust, and then the chest line. So guys, the next thing I'll be doing is to also indicate on it so that you guys can see. The next thing I'll be doing is to mark my 1/2 inch seam allowance for the back, and then the extra portion we added for the extra 1 inch we added at the front pattern, we are going to be tracing it out from the back pattern. So this is that extra there. Okay, as you can see, I've traced it out guys. I'm so sorry, I didn't know my video had stopped recording as at when I realized I had gone far in the video. But I'll tell you what I did at the back there to take out the zipper bulge. I marked in 3/4 of an inch on the first line and then the second line, as you can see, and then I just used my pattern master to do the connection. I connected it to the hip line and to the neckline to make that place give you a curve, like you can. Also for the back dart, I used my nipple to nipple measurement of 4 inches, that is 8 inches divided by 2, and then I measured a straight line from my chest line to my hip line. I went down by 1 inch on the chest line, and then I went up by 2 inches from the hip line, and at the waistline I took 1/2 inch on both sides, and then I connected the 4 points together like I did in the front pattern. So guys, this is your basic bodies. Thank you for watching this video, and see you in my next